Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Hanging by a Thin Thread. I'm Shelley in the Kansas City area, and I would like to welcome you to the 50th, a banner 50th episode of my podcast, where we talk about everything from knitting, spinning, weaving, crochet, sewing, and occasionally even a little bit of fiber dyeing. There's a whole variety of things that I'm into, and I encourage you to join me. Today's a little bit of a chattier episode because I'm going to be telling you about a wonderful fiber event. I just went to the Ozark Fiber Fling, and I'm also going to be talking about a wonderful yarn shop that is in Columbia, Missouri called the Knotty Goat that I discovered on the way back from the festival. And just want to play catch up with some of my projects, and I had a major milestone birthday also that I got to celebrate with my friends and, at the Fiber Festival. It was a lot of fun. Today I'm drinking Bones Coffee Mint Invaders from Chocolate Space. It's a mint chocolate chip flavor, and it's one of my favorites from Bones. So that is what we're drinking today. Let's start off. Now, I don't normally like to do a lot of fiber acquisition and yarn acquisition type material because I think that, I'm at a stage where I'm trying to destash a little bit, and with things being tight in the economy, and certainly in my situation, having recently retired, I call it re-inspired. But just last month, I was able to finally end my career and turn into my creative endeavors full time. So now I am going into a new phase of life that I call re-inspirement. And my word for next year in 2026 is going to be re-inspire. So I hope to re-inspire myself as well as some of you and anybody who needs a little boost in the arm, creative-wise, either on your own projects or hearing about some of mine. I hope you will come away re-inspired. Today, Bob and I went to a Chinese restaurant takeout, and I thought the fortune that we got was really fitting for today. A creative breakthrough is coming close. A creative breakthrough is coming close. And I do feel like I am really opening up and getting ready to even have a bigger reawakening of my creativity this year. I'm so excited to have more time to devote to my crafts, as well as to spend with my friends and family. So I'm really excited about this whole journey that I've just started on, and I can't speak highly enough of having the opportunity to, go on a different path of your own if you're at a stage of life where you can do that. It's just been wonderful so far. Now I want to talk about the Ozark Fiber Fling that the three of us, myself and two of my friends, Carolyn and Judy, went on over the weekend. This is held typically in the early part of November each year. They've been doing Ozark Fiber Fling for 15 years. I've only been able to go to a couple of them because I didn't discover it until fairly recently in 2023. Carolyn and I went the first time to that first one, and we weren't able to go last year. But this year, I'm glad we went because it turned out this is going to be their last year. But it makes me all the more intent on attending whatever local fiber festivals I can afford to attend, because I do want to see these to keep going. I can't afford to go to the really major big ones like Rhinebeck. I don't live near Rhinebeck. And so I'm not able to go to those big ones and not able to travel and go through the expense. So therefore, I really want to keep going with the local ones here that we have left that we're lucky enough to have. But I do want to start by showing you some of my acquisitions, and we'll begin with that today. The girls and I, we were there to take a class on Friday. That was the first full day. They have a Friday and a Saturday. And so the Friday, we were there to take a class on intermediate tatting from a great teacher named Kelly Slack that we have taken a class from before at Fiber U. And we had taken the beginning class. Well, this is the intermediate. So we had a wonderful experience with that. I really enjoyed it. I have to admit, I was kind of a bad student. I got more caught up in watching other people doing it than doing my own tatting, which isn't good. And I also visited I got inspired to visit the vendor booth she had, and while she was, I slipped away and went to the vendor booth. But one thing I wanted to get was the Dreamlit tatting shuttle that she recommends, and it has bobbins also. I bought some beads because she was selling some wonderful beads and some beading needles. So I won't show you everything of all the little things I got with tatting, but so I don't know if everyone's interested in tatting, but I'm really getting interested in it. I'm not very good at it yet, but it's a fascinating little side trip in my fiber journey. And then while I was there at her booth, I got the Granny Square card deck, 50 mix and match designs, which these just have on one side the picture of the Granny Square that you might want to select, and on the back of it, it tells you how to do it. So I really thought this was inspiring. I love crochet, and I love doing Granny Squares. I hope to make Ruby, my dog, my new dog, a little Granny Square coat soon as winter's approaching. So I thought this little box of Granny Square inspiration would be good to do that. Now, one thing that I did, when I went to this fiber festival, I told myself and everybody else in the car that I don't need to buy fiber, that I wanted to primarily focus on yarn and other things because, again, I didn't have a need for fiber, having assessed and inventoried my fiber stash over the summer before I left. So I found this, though. This is I've got a little container of these, I think they call them poonies or rolags, and the fibers in these are just beautiful. There's a mixture of green and gray and purple, and mainly green though, but teal, just little variations. And she got these. The lady who does this particular booth is called the Angry Sheepdog Studio. No, I think it's the Angry Sheepdog. I'll tell you when I see the tag. But I got this. This inspired, I thought, what else could I get to go with this? And right away, this drew me in. This beautiful, this is called Eye of Newt. And it is a sheep breed I hadn't heard of before called Texel. And again, these are all rescue sheep. Not sheeps, but rescue. And this one is Texel. It's called Eye of Newt. And it is from was from a farm in northern Arkansas. And then the other one I got to go with it is this lovely Shetland. I always love Shetland. And it's kind of the more gray, neutral. But again, I thought it went well with this. Because with these little rolags, I'm not going to have enough to make any one project that'll be very big. So I got 4 ounces of the other fibers, the other 2 fibers, 4 ounces of each. So hopefully I'll have enough to make a vest. That's kind of what I have in mind as what that project would make a cute vest. So I am hoping that works out. And while I was there, I also bought a little thing of the unicorn, what is that called? Oh, Unicorn Fibers Power Scour, and the little starter kit for that. I, for a long time, wanted to use that, to use that fiber wash, and I've never tried it before. So there's my chance for my little starter kit to see how I like that. Now, those are the major purchases I did there at Ozark Fiber Fling. That was probably more than I intended, but I like I said, I'm glad to support the vendors. And I'm going to put up a link to all of these. The Angry Sheepdog, they also do fiber processing. So if you have your own fiber and want to process it, but when they sell fiber, it is from rescue sheeps, where they buy the fiber that will otherwise be disposed of or put into mulch. And she works up and does fiber prep with that. She picks what she considers to be beautiful fiber that would be a real waste to just be put into mulch. So she processes it and sells it. And so that's what that is. And I will put a link to her shop online. Now, while we were going home, we were all set to leave, and we decided to stop at this yarn shop that I showed you earlier, the cup, called the Knotty Goat. The owner of the shop is Molly. And here's a picture. I'll put up a picture of Molly. She is just as charming She and her staff are totally accommodating and friendly to the customers. They let you shop around at your leisure, and it's a medium-sized shop. It's perfect because it's not too small and not too large. So you feel like if you need help, there are people there to help you. And there's a living room kind of area right in the center, a cozy area to sit and knit or crochet. They support all the different fiber arts. They're even going to get in some weaving, like some rigid heddle weaving. But right now it's mainly knitting and crochet. They have a very knowledgeable and inspiring staff. And so anyway, I wasn't intending to buy much. I bought the little coffee mug, and I was going to get some stitch markers, but I had no intention after I already kind of blew my wad in Ozark Fiber Fling. I was kind of going cautiously shopping around. But I'm telling you, this store just draws you in. It is a wonderful store. And they help you when you want help. Like I asked, what if I was drawn immediately to this yarn, because this yarn reminds me of Spin Cycle, which is an expensive yarn that I can never afford to buy, especially not a large quantity of. But this is a yarn line called Feeder Brook Farm, and this one is called Entropy Line, which is a DK yarn, and it is 100% blue face Leicester, but it is that similar kind of look to the Spin Cycle. So that's what it reminded me of. And I wanted to make a cowl. I wanted to buy enough to make a cowl, but this wasn't quite enough. And I wanted a solid to go with it. So I picked the Scout yarn, which is one of their favorites at the store. It's 100% wool and 274 yards. So, and the Entropy here, the Feeder Brook Farm, the yardage is 260 yards. So I have enough here to make a nice cowl, and that's what I'm going to be doing with this yarn. But they helped me select it. Sadie there at the shop is a really good help, especially when it comes to selecting colors that go together. So I really love that shop. I would highly recommend it. I would love to go back again, and any of you, if you're in the Columbia, Missouri area, or if you'd like to go to their website, they have a kitchen there. You can go get a cup of coffee or tea. They have that cozy area that your knit group is welcome to sit and knit or crochet. And they have a kitchen. They have a classroom area. Just the whole thing is very accommodating to crafters of all kinds. So check it out if you're anywhere near Columbia, Missouri, or know anyone who's going there. I definitely find that is a brick and mortar shop that you just don't want to miss. Next up, I want to briefly talk about the project that we started on the way down there, and while we were there, the three of us all wanted to make the classic cable leg warmers. This is a Pearl Soho pattern. It's a free pattern, and I barely started it, but I did just want to show you. This is the walnut yarn that we had dyed that I talked about in the last episode, and I've just now started these leg warmers. I am doing them all on one little 16-inch circular, and I find that really a good way. My size, I'm able to get on a 16-inch circular, and I think most people could get it on there. So you can use a magic loop, you can use double-pointed needles, you can use, like flexi flips, whatever it is you want to do for a small circumference like this. It's about the size of a large sleeve, but of course it's going to be a leg warmer. So I just got past the ribbing, and I've done the first 4 rows of the cable pattern. I am enjoying doing this pattern, but it does take a lot of concentration. This is not the kind of thing that you want to do while you're chatting away in your knit group. So I will let you know how this goes as I move along with it. But it is a slow going right now, but I think I love the yarn that we made with the walnut dye. That was a good choice to get started on this. So I will let you know maybe next episode how I'm coming with the leg warmers. But at least the 3 of us are making them. And I think we even inspired a few people at the Knotty Goat to want to look into leg warmers themselves. But anyway, I'll let you know next time how that's coming along. Well, you have now found us in the living room where we decided, Ruby's here with me now, we decided to put up our Christmas tree this afternoon. Bob and I realized that it's been at least probably 3 years since we put our tree up. We've been a little bit each year it just seemed like, why bother for just the two of us? It seemed like kind of, we just ran out of time and didn't feel in the spirit to do it. But I think this year is the year, as I am in the middle of my retirement or re-inspirement, it's the year to experience and bring in more joy into our life, right, Ruby? And so we decided to put the tree up a little bit early. But this year, if I could get it up before Thanksgiving, maybe we would have all the more time to enjoy it. And so we decided just to put it up. Just the tree itself brings us joy. We don't exchange a lot of gifts in our family. We have an older family, and pretty much people have what they want. So it's more to experience the joy of the season is why we put up the tree. So anyway, just wanted to bring that up so that maybe you can think of ways that you could bring joy to yourself and your family this year and just get into the spirit. I'm wearing currently the poncho that Fran Crochet, I'll put up the link, but HanJan Crochet, I'll put up the link. But anyway, this is a poncho that I made with sleeves. I made it in the summer, and now is the time of year where I can start wearing it. And I did wear this to the Ozark Fiber Fling. So it's one of those things that you could make fairly quickly if you wanted to make a gift for someone to wear. Or you could turn this into a Christmas shawl. By using Christmas colors, you could perhaps make it for yourself. You can make it with or without the sleeves. I kind of made like a 3/4 length sleeve. But it's very handy to have the sleeves on it. And really think that's something to consider as a possible gift for yourself or someone else. And again, you could make it in the Christmas colors. One thing I forgot to mention that I bought at the Ozark Fiber Fling was this. This was Renee's Revolution. It's a braid that I bought. And the color of this one is Huntsman. It's a blue face Leicester. And this is the braid that I promised to show you last time that I bought from Treasure Goddess when I was at her Fiber Day at her house. So if you would like to, I don't know the name of this colorway, but I want to let you know I did get those. I'm really wanting to do more spinning. And so having some beautiful braids, I figure might inspire me to do more spinning. And anyway, so I wanted to bring that up because I forgot to mention it. But as far as gifts are concerned, if you're starting to get in the mindset of making a few gifts for your family, we are now almost in the middle of November. It is the middle of November. And getting not too far from Thanksgiving. So now is the time to really go into more gift-giving mode if you haven't already. One thing, I'm going to give you a few ideas that I have made in the past. Again, since I have an aging family and we don't give a lot of physical gifts, we get together and enjoy being together, and that's the same thing with my tree. I'm not going to have tons of gifts under it because there's nothing I really need. There's not a lot of stuff I need. Bob and I are going to go more toward giving each other more experiential gifts, such as, going to the dinner theater, which we love to do. We have plans to do that very soon. And so ours are not much, in terms of actual gifts, but the gifts of the spirit, getting together, being together. But if you do have some little gifts that you'd like to make for people, I wanted to tell you some of the most successful gift items I have done was a couple years ago I made dryer balls for everyone. And my coworkers especially really liked those. I gave those away, and I made them myself out of my leftover fiber. Some of the fiber, as I was doing my fiber prep, I would, instead of throwing away that leftover fiber, I would turn it into dryer balls. And so that is one. I'm going to let you down, honey. There you go. The dryer balls are a great gift idea. Another thing would be, you can make eyeglass cases, as I've done in the past. Those are have been popular when I've made those. You can, of course, make little scarves, out of little cute scarves that come together pretty fast. There's a lot of those kind of things that you can make. But yeah, if you want to look back at my past videos, I can put a link below to the dryer balls in particular. The dryer balls and the eyeglass cases have been popular. So those are some ideas. But anyway, hope you will make a note in the comments if you have any particular gifts that you have found people enjoy. I'm sure we would all like hearing about those particular ones that have been popular in your experience. Now I want to talk about, speaking of the holidays and giving, I finally finished, this is a finished object, one of my few, well, the only one I have that's actually finished. I've been working on this since the middle of September. I looked back at my Ravelry page. And since the middle of September, I have been working on this it's for a senior center. They asked for acrylic yarns to make a Lapghan. And so this is a simple V-stitch Afghan that I made, Lapghan. This particular one is 38 by 52. And I did use, all the yarn I used was the Hobby Lobby, I love this yarn. I did 6 different yarns, and I combined them into magic balls like this. This is one where I only have like half of it left. Altogether, I think I used 4.5. This is the half left. I used 4.5 fairly full magic balls. So 600, 6 magic balls, and each one of these skeins were probably almost 200. So I'd say just over 1,000 yards altogether. And then I used a unifying navy tweed color. I love this yarn. And I think this is called navy tweed. That I did as a border all the way around it, so that it would have a little bit of a tie-in. And I did put that all the way around. So this is now finished. It's going to be going off to the senior center as a gift for someone, and it's really fun. I haven't had time to do much charity knitting or crochet in recent years. I've just been too busy working, but I do find that it's such a pleasure to be able to do something for someone else, and I'm really looking into doing a few volunteer opportunities as well, because I'm finding a lot of joy in this process, working on this Afghan for the past couple of months. Several people in my knitting group are also doing that, and we're all contributing and bringing our Afghans, and we've been comparing them as we go along working on them. It's just a really fun way to share the gift of giving, and we've all enjoyed sharing each other's crochet projects. I think almost everybody I know has been crocheting them rather than knitting, because the crochet blankets do go a lot faster. And there's so many variety of stitch patterns that you can use. Mine is a V-stitch, but another friend of mine the other day finished up a granny square one, and you can make big granny squares. You can make a quarter-to-quarter blanket. You can just use a ripple blanket. There's just so many varieties of crochet that make wonderful blankets. And we had a variety of sizes, because some of these people would like a smaller blanket because they're wheelchair bound, or some people, there's a wide variety, but they're all Lapghans is what we chose to make. And those needed to be done by a December 1st deadline at the latest, so I was happy to finish mine and not be up to the last minute, but I finished mine yesterday. One more thing that I want to share with you today is a book I found called Daydream Journals by Tilly Rose. And this is actually Tilly Rose's second book. I haven't read the first one, but I had first encountered this book. It was recommended to me in my list of recommendations from the library. And I really checked this out and loved the book so much while I was borrowing it from the library that I decided to actually buy the copy myself. And the thing I like about this, it has memories, ideas, inspiration, and stitch, cloth, and thread. I'm getting a little bit, I've avoided quilting because it just seems like a huge rabbit hole to fall down. And I'm always afraid I'll get into this other rabbit hole, and, you know, there's so many I'm already involved in with knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, sewing, and a little bit of dyeing. I was really afraid to cross into any other craft territory. So I've avoided rug hooking and quilting specifically to avoid the rabbit hole. I don't need to start collecting fabric and all of that. But I will say I've been attending, just the last month, I attended my first of a quilting guild, and I really enjoyed it. It's a fairly casual group of quilters, and so I'm dipping my toe into the quilting waters. Believe me, it's not going to be a deep dive. I've been into journaling all my life, and so it's not surprising that I would be drawn to the Daydream Journals book. But this book has more than just journals, but this is, oh my gosh, there's so many interesting, fun, smaller projects, and that's what appeals to me about it. They're smaller, doable projects. There's some, you know, printing with some like little plant material and all kinds of things, but it's creating a vintage style. And they have a journal, these journals in particular. I really want to go to Half Price Bookstore and get a journal that I can decorate. And I think this is going to be one of my first forays into quilting. And again, into not only quilting, I've always loved embroidery. And so this involves a lot of different crafts. It's a multi-craftal kind of thing. Oh my gosh, they even have a charming little scarf here that, oh, I just love these things. So, my gosh, I could be so drawn in. So, my first project I'm interested in is this Tales from a Victorian Haberdashery on page 90 of this book. And again, it just shows these simple little quilted journals for the cover. And that's going to be what I attempt first. So I just love this whole book. I love the author. It's she's a talented textile artist. Tilly Rose shows you how to create beautiful journals to record your precious thoughts, ideas, daydreams, and memories through painting, writing, and stitch. So there's an array of techniques that add delicate shades of color to paper and fabric using flowers and fruit, as well as layering, collage, patchwork, applique, hand and free motion machine embroidery, and cloth for covers for paper journals. So she gives you step-by-step instructions as well as a ton of inspiration. So let me know if you have ever done any quilting for smaller things like these journals. That's my particular interest right now. I don't want to go heavily into it, making a whole blanket, but I think even I could handle the cover of a journal. So I'm challenging myself to at least try to get started on the cover of a journal. I'll let you know next time how that's going, but I think it'd be something really fun to do, especially during the holidays. Well, that's all I have for now. Again, not many finished objects. I really was working on the the crocheted Afghan through most of this month as well as last month. And I'm looking forward to just moving ahead on a lot of different projects that I have in mind. And I look forward to seeing you next time. But do let me know if you have any Christmas making that you'll be doing, any kind of projects you'll be working on, and maybe even turning your mind into a thought of what your word might be for next year. I always select a word each year, and as I said a little bit earlier in the program, my word for this year is already selected. It's going to be re-inspire. So let me know if you have a word, if you've thought of it yet, and anything you want to do to comment. I would appreciate your letting me know what you're working on. And as I always say, love what you're making and wear what you make. Till next time, goodbye, everybody.